Happy Monday night. Welcome to the Flight Zone. Hit that like, comment throughout the show, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Ben Simmons talk part 27,539,000.
Yep.
Here we go.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck like horses gegen Heat Steak!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Flight Zone. Only on A2D Radio. Every Monday night, 9:30. Always brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tool for the job with Manscaped. And if there's one person in this town that needs Manscaped, we all know who it is. I don't want to name any names, but he wears number 25. I'm not going to say what sport he plays, but he is a point guard. So
He plays rugby. He plays rugby.
Yeah.
Let's
Hey,
just say-
Six Nations started this weekend. And
Yeah.
let me just tell you, watching rugby is just therapeutic because there's no bullshit involved. No people, athletes complaining every single time
No
the
drama.
whistle is blown. They just play the sport. And rugby is just so therapeutic in that way. Six Nations will be going on for the next month, every Saturday and Sunday. So check that out. They were on CNBC this Saturday and Sunday. They go in the morning time. So if you want to find a new sport, the first time you watch it, you'll fall in love. All right. So just check them out. All right. Let's talk about hoops. Let's talk about hoops tonight. We're going to talk about a little Super Bowl preview, and then maybe we'll get into a little quarterback talk because as the days keep progressing, it's just more and more clear in my mind that we need a quarterback to not be 500 next year. And I know you totally disagree with me because you were torturing me a couple of days ago over text about how Jalen needs another chance, and he deserved it. He earned it. He didn't earn shit. He was a 500 quarterback. So we'll get into all that, but let's first get into the poll tonight. The poll for the night, which is always brought to you by Body Check Wellness. Body Check Wellness, a line of products that promote wellness, balance, and recovery by using the full potential of hemp. They come in extracts, blends, and gummies, and topicals. Use promo code A2D for 25% off your order at bodycheckwellness.com. And that leads us into the poll for the night. Trade deadline 3 days away. I know there's been a lot of talk on whether James Harden's going to be a Sixer or not come trade deadline. I think it's just a lot of sources trying to get their papers read. I don't think James Harden's going anywhere until at least this offseason. And that leads me to this poll. I mean, you and I thought about this poll earlier today. I kind of been thinking about it over. We've been mentioning it. It's honestly, it's
a very long time, actually.
Will he ever be in a Sixer jersey? And the poll is Ben Simmons will play as a Sixer if he is not moved by the deadline. And I'm going to agree to this poll. I mean, he's being pressured day in and day out by Joel Embiid. I mean, everybody acts like they aren't friends. They never really talked to each other, never really got along. And I feel like that was kind of fake, and maybe up until this year when Ben was pulling all this crap. But at the end of the day, he needs to realize what we've been saying this entire time. The only way he gets traded is if he raises his stock. Because the last thing anybody saw him do on the basketball court was pass up an open dunk in Game 7 of the playoffs. That is the last basketball that anybody has seen from you. And
you're not smart if you want to leave off that impression after a year. That's all a lot of people remember. They don't remember the triple doubles. That doesn't matter.
They don't remember Game 1 when you put up 14 rebounds and 14 assists, like you always like to remind us. Like I used to always remind people back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking about this long and hard today because I'm missing an aspect of the Sixers team. I mean, I was a Ben Simmons fan. I loved the way he played basketball. I had no agenda. I just loved the way he played basketball. I loved what he did in transition. I loved how he was a court general. I loved how he was always the best defensive player on the court. That's honestly what made me always defend him. And that's why I defended him all the way up until that game 7. But then when I realized that you're playing 4-on-5 basketball in the fourth quarter of playoff games, something needs to change, dude.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I am 100% positive that will change once he comes back and plays basketball. I don't know if it's ever going to be for the Sixers again, but for the sake of the poll, I'm going to agree. If he's still on this team after Thursday's trade deadline or Wednesday's trade deadline, what is it, Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday? It's the 10th. Whatever day that is, I think he will come back and play. I mean, you see all the stuff that's coming out that, quote unquote, what Joel Embiid is saying, that Ben Simmons needs to take a little bit of accountability. He needs to feel the room. He needs to realize that this isn't a sport like golf or tennis. He needs to realize that for the better of everybody, including Ben Simmons needs to come back and play. So I'm going to agree to the poll.
That's very. I mean, I hope, I would hope so, but honestly, I disagree. He's shown you really nothing that he really wanted to come back. He's had these spurts of going and playing against St. Joe's basketball, playing with them, like all this weird, stupid bullshit's been going on, and he really hasn't shown any commitment whatsoever to the Sixers. I don't know how that would change like drastically of him coming on the court. Like you'd have to do a lot for him to come on the court. Like this has to be a whole therapy session for Ben and saying, like going back to the basics, going back to like grade school and saying, "Hey, I'm sorry." And then after that,
I don't think we're getting an apology out of him. I think if anything, he'll beg for an apology from us.
No, yeah, I mean from us. We need he wants an apology from us, but that's not how business goes, you know? Like if you don't perform, why are we sorry that you didn't perform?
Yeah.
I know that Doc has been very, very bad. He's been an overrated part of our team, I think. And that he's very, very easily like movable. I feel like if we had any other coach, not any other, but you know, with a winning pedigree, we would be on a higher level than we are now. I think that after that Mavericks game, you saw it. Like we've known for years that Doc was a big choker.
Yeah,
and that
he's coaching the wrong sport.
He
should be a bench coach in hockey because he loves those freaking hockey changes.
Yeah, yeah, man. But you know, like we did blame Ben a lot, and Ben, of course, deserved a lot as much blame as he got. But no one's really putting any blame on the coach that blew what 3 or 2. He blew 20-point leads in the playoffs. That's just astronomically bad.
Yep.
And he's known to be a loser. I mean, he got carried by that Boston team. He was like Steve Kerr. You didn't really have to do much. You just sat and watched your players play.
Yeah. Manage the rotation a little bit. And even in Boston, I don't know what every time I think about it, because Ben Simmons is totally in the wrong in all of this. But I still go back, like the points I was making, it wasn't because I had an agenda. It's because it was real life.
Yeah.
It was real life that Doc Rivers was one of the worst coaching jobs I've ever seen in my life when it comes to a playoff series.
When it comes to playoffs.
And we saw Brett Brown.
Yeah.
Brett Brown coached better in the Toronto series than Doc did in the Atlanta series.
Honestly.
And I don't even think it's close, to be honest.
No. Brett, you know, Brett, like he doesn't deserve enough credit for going through all that shit, especially with Ben. Like when I look back at it, I know that he had his moments, you know, like blowing leads here and there. But I mean, if you win that series up in Toronto, you may win the championship. You know?
Yeah.
So shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I'll disagree with the poll.
Yeah. All right, let's get to a little of the comments. And as always, the comment section brought to you by FanUp, which is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more. And obviously, Super Bowl 56 is coming right up. We got 6 days until kickoff. You can win great prizes. Sign up today. Use the promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points, which is equal to a $50 value. FanUp.app at the Apple Store. So check them out. And I see a lot of disagrees in the comment. Like it's a clean slate. Disagree. Disagree. He's just a chicken.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's obvious to think that he will never be here, but when it comes down to it, what is going to change from now until the offseason? Because we said that as the season ended last year, and Daryl Morey is obviously not going to fold and give us a stinky Sacramento package. He's not going to do it.
No.
The only way this happens, unless it happens in the next few hours or so, where we get James Harden from the Nets, the only way that Ben Simmons leaves this team is if he starts playing and raises that trade value back up. That's the only possible way, because Daryl Morey isn't gonna trade him away for pennies on the dollar. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, he's trying to get everything he can out of Ben.
Dude,
that's hard to do, man. That's like trying to sell like a car with no engine. Like it's hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think about everything that Joel Embiid's doing this year. I feel like him, Joe, and Ben. Joe's gonna have a conversation with Ben. Rich Paul's probably gonna be involved, and Rich Paul is the head of all of this. Yeah. Rich Paul's making all of these decisions at the end of the day because it's his business. He doesn't want his business to look bad.
Yep.
So Joe's gonna have a conversation with them. He's gonna tell them, we want what is best for you, and what is best for you is to get the hell out of this town, right? And the only way you're gonna do that, because Daryl Morey isn't gonna sell. He's not. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, send him up north, man. Send him. Do you want a shitty Toronto or a shitty Timberwolves package?
I'm telling you, dude. Atlanta could fall off this year and not make the playoffs, and they may want to blow up their team. We already see what's happening with Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving's never going to get vaccinated, and Brooklyn's never going to change the mandates, so he's never going to play a home game again. Kevin Durant's out every other month. James Harden is at the point of his career where he wants to win. He wants to win. And
I feel like he's in that Kyle Lowry mode, but a little better than last year, what we saw. Like when the hype was real, when he may get traded to Philly, that fell off, and then he went to no, he stayed, right? And then he went to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, hey, we'll see.
I mean, Don agrees with me. Don's my guy. Ben Simmons not getting traded, and he will come back in the playoffs. I think he's going to come back sooner than the playoffs, though.
I don't know. What would make him come back, though? Like the fact that he didn't get traded, so he then realizes, I need to hire my trade value.
Yes.
I mean, and that should be in every Sixers fan's best interest for Ben to come back.
Yeah, and all the stubborn-ass people are going to say, I don't want him back. He did us so dirty. Dude, if you want him gone, he needs to play a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he would have been traded by now.
The team has got better since last season. So, like, not much, but, yeah.
Yo, Pete.
The
poll for the night is Ben Simmons will play as a Sixer if he's not moved by the deadline. Agree or disagree? And I'm saying agree. I'm saying agree for the sole fact that no deal has been done yet.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been done.
If it took this long, Ben has to come back to increase his trade value. And Don brings up a good point. I know money has to do a lot with it if he does come back, but I mean, this dude can care less. He just got married or something like that. Like he just proposed to his girlfriend at the Australian Open, wherever the fuck he was at.
You're gonna make me throw up, dude.
Dude, that's all he cares about. He got his noodle wet, and he just doesn't care about the NBA anymore. That's all he wanted.
No, he got his money, and then he got his noodle wet throughout time. And I think he's still hung up on the Kardashians, but that's a conversation for another podcast.
I forget who commented, but someone said he was going to retire a Sixer. I honestly see him retiring a Laker. He's not ever going to play for the Lakers, but he's going to retire a Laker.
How about this? He comes back this year because he's not traded at the deadline. We end up winning it all this year. He gets his ring here, and then we trade him. and then he goes to LA or he goes wherever the hell he wants, and then he comes back in his last season ever, 15 years from now, and he plays his last season as a Sixer. Yeah, right.
Yo, Elias, welcome to the show from Fiji. Wow. Welcome to the show.
Where is he? I don't see the comment. Who is it?
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From 947. Yeah, welcome.
Yo, we appreciate it. We appreciate you.
Rob really thinks we should get rid of Maxey just to get the Harden deal done. I think that's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
There's no way.
John, I've gotten the same advice like 3 different times over the past 2 days. It's unbelievable.
Shit, maybe it's not for us. You know. Go
I
to the bed. Or don't go to bed.
I saw another comment that I wanted. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Harden is fat and lazy. I think they're just saying that because they're in love with KD. And, you know, a lot of sports radio on the dial throughout this country, they just want to spread their agendas for their listeners. And they probably just have an agenda against Harden. And
they only called him fat and slow and lazy because that's what he was before he got traded. So I see a correlation there.
No, he legitimately put on a fat suit. He wasn't fat.
Really?
That was a fat suit. That had to have been a fat suit. Yeah, I don't know. All right. I mean, even through all of this, it's been unbelievable to see like just how great the Sixers season has been so far. I mean, we're at the halfway point. Joel Embiid is the head of the MVP voting or the odds right now. Tyrese Maxey is having anything but a sophomore slump.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris has turned it up over the past few weeks or maybe month or so, where he's averaging close to 20 points a game. Seth Curry is having another unbelievable year, and that's without Ben Simmons creating shots for him.
Yeah.
And then after that, I mean, you got Andre Drummond, who's obviously been Joel's best backup center. You got Georges Niang, who's an upgrade to Mike Scott. But other than that, the bench is depleted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Furkan Korkmaz is shooting a worse 3-point percentage than Matisse Thybulle, which is bad. That's bad.
It is.
Shake Milton's nowhere to be found. He had that little nice run in the bubble, and ever since then he's done jack shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need to do something. I'm not saying that you need to make a big splash. If the deal is right for Simmons, then it happens. But if not, you need to go to the buyout market, maybe for Goran Dragic. You maybe try and buy out Eric Gordon. And if you add those two, I feel like with the addition of those two and the possibility that Ben Simmons will come back and play to up his trade value, there's no reason why this team shouldn't be a front runner in the East.
If you're going to take that 8-man, 10-man rotation that Doc likes doing, I'd rather bring in players like Dragic, like Gordon, than Furkan or Shake. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. What's up?
See, I feel like we're rushing this a lot. I know that Embiid's prime. We're talking about Embiid's prime a little bit, but he's showing no signs of slowing down. I mean, the only thing that gives me an issue of trading Maxey is what if Joel gets hurt? Your future's fucked. You turn into
the Blazers. That's what you turn into. You turn into the Blazers, or you turn into the Wizards.
Yeah.
I know they had this poll on last Wednesday night on A2D Wednesdays. Tyrese Maxey's untouchable to me. I'm not trading him for anybody. He is not involved in any trade package.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, go ahead.
What about Matisse?
Oh yeah, Matisse, bye. I mean, defense is good and everything, but you need a shot. You need a shot if you play that position in the NBA.
Yeah.
If the only thing you're going to do is steal the basketball and block, I need you to shoot the ball.
There's a lot of guys like that in the G League that can do that.
Yeah. And I love Matisse. I love Matisse to death.
Oh, so do I. Yeah.
But I'm not trading. I don't think you need to trade Maxey. I really
Mhm.
don't, because all these guys that we're thinking about, they've done nothing in their careers, with the exception of
Mhm.
Harden. I mean, yeah, Lillard's. I think Lillard is what he is. You know,
Mhm.
he. I don't want to say this with while disrespecting Lillard, because I like Lillard. I love his game.
Mhm.
I think he's a great guy, but I think we overrate Lillard a little bit in this town.
Yeah.
We were just calling for him like we were going to sell the franchise to him for him.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what we were saying.
We're
And I'm
about to
like,
throw Ben, Matisse, and Simmons at one point at him.
and Maxey,
Yeah.
yeah.
Max, yeah.
And I was like, the dude doesn't want to play here. We get 3 years of his contract, and then he goes back out west, and you sold the
Yeah.
entire farm for 3 years
Yeah.
of that. And do you trust the big man to stay healthy to try and get a ring within those 3 years?
We'll see. And I mean, you know, like, it's not making me comfortable. Like, I know trading for Harden, I feel like we won't regret it, but
I
the
would love
fact
that.
that he hasn't had a healthy season in a few seasons is that's kind of scary. I mean, Lillard too. Lillard had his issues. I know last season he's been out a few games this season too, but just seeing how many games some of these guys have been out for is pretty concerning, just for our future if we're going to go and throw all these players, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
And
risky business.
Yes, and it's been 1 week since we talked about all those trades, and I've gotten to the point where it's Harden or a bust for me.
Yeah.
I don't want Beal. I think Beal is just a stat patter on a bad team. So we saw that with Tobias. Tobias was the best player with a bunch of role players on the 3 teams that he was on before he came here, and then he comes here and he's a very inconsistent shooter.
The Michael Carter Williams effect. That's what that is. Michael Carter Williams effect.
I mean, I think Beal will get his buckets here and there, but he's been around nothing but losing in his career.
Yeah.
I mean,
he wants to get paid too.
Yeah.
You're not going to pay me. You haven't even played. See, another thing with him too, injuries.
Yeah, I just get weird vibes from those types of guys because they get incentives if they stay with their teams that they've been with forever. That's why Lillard stayed. That's why Beal stayed, because they wanted to get as much money as possible. So that showed me that.
Tell me what's important. What's important? What's in DC? What's in DC?
Money.
What do they not have?
His contract. That's what's in DC. His contract.
Absolutely. So
and it's the same thing with Lillard.
Yeah.
Lillard chose the contract over going to win a title because there was no chance in hell that he legitimately thought that he was going to make it out of the West any of those years and any of these years upcoming. Because you see how the Jazz are. You see how the Suns are. You see how the Warriors are. You see how the Lakers and the Clippers are. You had your opportunity to run, and you shut it down because you chose your contract. You chose your super max contract, right?
Chose wrong. That's all I got to say.
So I don't want them.
Yeah.
I want the guy that wants to win rings. And that's James Harden.
Yeah. I don't
want any of No. I don't want any of Sacramento slop. I don't want any of Detroit slop. I don't want any of Indiana's slop. I don't want any of America's slop. I want James Harden.
Yeah. Everyone was calling me stupid last year. And who was right?
I apologize. Although I was begging for Kyle Lowry. I
don't think that would have done much, honestly.
It would have done.
It wouldn't have done. We wouldn't have won a championship.
Series.
You think we would have won a championship if we had just Kyle Lowry?
You think he would have put up with Ben Simmons bullshit in that 7-game series? He would have been on the bench.
Not, but Ben would have still been on the court. That's the thing. Because Doc's an idiot.
Okay, but Shake Milton wouldn't have been on the court, or Furkan Korkmaz. Kyle Lowry would have been on the court.
I don't see us winning that. I don't see us winning the championship with just him. I don't know. That's interesting, but damn, dude. I wish I'd rather have traded with Houston than be trading with Brooklyn. You know, like the incentives of waiting next year is that sign and trades are never fair for the team that does the sign and then the trade. So You know, like we got fucking Josh Richardson for Jimmy Butler. Like that's not fair.
Although we did get Seth Curry for Josh Richardson.
Pretty much, yeah. So, and
Speaking of Seth,
I
okay,
don't see him getting traded to the Nets, do you?
who Seth? If
Yeah.
if that is real, which I don't think it is, Seth for Ben, it would have already happened. Or Seth
Yeah.
and Ben for Harden, it would have happened. So that's
Yeah.
how I know it's fake.
Yeah.
It's fake. Fake news.
Do you think that hurts the team if
What?
you go and trade away Seth?
You would have to add
A vet that can shoot
yes, Eric Gordon.
at the buyout market, but I mean,
Yes.
what kind of players can we see though? Like, because you'll be if Harden's not on shooting threes, what the hell's happening? You know?
I love Seth Curry and all, but if it means him and Ben for Harden, no brainer.
Mhm.
But I also think, and call me crazy, call me a Ben freak. The best thing for this team right now is for him to come back.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed from last year's team, with the exception of you have more depth in the front court in Georges Niang and Andre Drummond.
Absolutely.
So if Ben comes back and the only thing you need to do is add a solid point guard, whether it's Goran Dragic or Terry Rozier or whoever it is, then you do that. That is the best. That is what is the best interest for your team, minus all of the outside cancerous stuff. You know?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, John. But like, Drew Holiday was a big piece for the Bucks winning that title. But every team I just named, they don't have a Drew Holiday on their team right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody on Indiana that plays like Drew Holiday. There's nobody on the Kings that is like a Drew Holiday, or the Detroit Pistons,
Yeah.
or the New Orleans Pelicans right now, because I know damn sure Brandon Ingram is not Drew Holiday.
No. No.
So yeah, John, we can say Ben is that all we want, but there was a lot more to that series than just Ben Simmons. Now, Ben Simmons carrying it out like this, yes, this is on Ben Simmons. But when it came down to it, I feel like he thought that he felt salty because he thought everybody was blaming him. And it's totally not true.
No.
It's not true.
No.
Once you started acting like a little bitch, that's when people started coming at you, Ben. But
there are some people blaming like Joel.
Yes.
Which is...
That crossed my mind, but I never said it on the air.
You can't blame Joel at all. He was dropping 40 a night.
Without a point guard.
Yeah.
As a 7'2" big man that could
see,
score on anywhere.
Jimmy, I remember you told me a few weeks back, you were saying this team will... You said something about Joel Embiid. Like, he'll take this team as far as he wants.
Yes.
Scoring 40 points a game and not making it past the second round...
That's a failure, in my opinion.
That you need somebody with Joel to go to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, I think Maxey can eventually be that guy as he continues to develop and grow. I think he becomes very timid when Joel's on the floor. He just doesn't know. It's not that he doesn't know, like, he doesn't know how to use his skill set with Joel on the floor, and that'll come with time.
Yeah. I mean, he's a very versatile player. Like, he can play in that second team or even the first team. I feel like he's actually better with Andre Drummond than he is with Embiid because he can do his own thing. He always does the lob ups to Drummond. He always takes his shots. Yeah. I feel like he takes a lot more threes. I know Joel wanted him to take more threes throughout the whole season, and which he has at a pretty good rate. And like, if he can stay consistent with that, with Joel and without Joel on the bench, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
John, do you think Ben can walk back into this lineup and nobody will bat an eye at him when it comes to just the roster and the coaching staff?
I honestly think they don't start him for at least 5 games. No.
I'm saying, like, do you think the team itself, the roster, welcomes him back with open arms?
I think so.
I also think so too.
I think this team's just so like welly put together chemistry wise
Mm-hmm.
that they would allow him to come back because I know it's an interest. It's it's their best interest too because they all want the same thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they really want Ben out that bad, they'd welcome him with open arms and be the fakest motherfuckers ever. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do that to get people out. You know.
Yeah. And the story that Ramona Shelburne dropped from ESPN, that happened Tuesday morning. That was like it was the day after we were on the air after the Grizzlies game.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't even have a chance to like dissect that article, and it was just fascinating to see what Ben Simmons' camp, which is Rich Paul and his brothers, had to say.
Yeah.
I saw it as they were trying to get smoke off of Ben Simmons' back to try and up his trade value before the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they did that because they're running out of options and they're starting to see that the only choice they have is to come back and play. So I feel like that article was a last-ditch effort to try and get him out of town, trying to have the sob stories, have the violins out for Ben Simmons. But it didn't work. I mean, maybe it worked in the national media, but from what I saw, what I've seen, I don't really feel like it worked.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads me to believe that they're slowly but surely trying. They're left with no option but to try and work their way back onto this team.
Yeah. And now to say he would start right away, I honestly don't think so. I don't care who's out on the court. I think he'll still play at least 30 minutes a game. But I don't necessarily think he's going to go getting thrown in right to the – he might be a six-man. He's not going to get thrown right into your starting lineup right away, I don't think. That would leave a bad taste in my mouth if that happened.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Maxey does work well with the second group too, so.
Elias, we'll get right back to this point. All right, I just want to finish off this point with John. John says, no, not at all. I agree with Westbrook. He said it would be very hard for a team to welcome him back, even with an apology. See, I think when it comes to any other sport, I would hear it. But when it comes to the modern day NBA, where these guys are just completely clueless to the outside world, and it's just them and only them that exist in their minds, that's when I have to disagree to this point and rebuke to this point, saying they don't care. They honestly don't care, because either way, they're having a successful season and everybody's getting paid.
Yeah.
So having Ben Simmons come back is just going to help them in the long run to try and win a championship.
Absolutely.
They don't care about what we think. What do they care about us?
No. Yep.
That's I think when it comes to a Brian Westbrook Philadelphia Eagles team in 2005, if Donovan sat out because T.O. hurt his feelings, I think it would be rough for Donovan now to come back to the locker room. But when it comes to Ben Simmons in 2022 with the Philadelphia 76ers roster, and by the way, Joel Embiid has been, I don't know what he's been feeding to people, but he fed one quote to this guy Hoffman, I think, saying that Ben needs to realize he needs to feel out the room. He needs to realize that it's bigger than himself. That's Joel Embiid pleading for Ben Simmons to come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
absolutely. If he has to, I feel like at this point, he has to come back. That's an extra $17 million. He wants that.
And maybe this is just me with my false hopes to try and see. He honestly was my favorite basketball player that I've ever watched before all this went down. When we talk about straight basketball, just playing basketball,
that's sad, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, I loved his game, dude. I loved his game.
Yeah.
So
point guards, starting point guards are supposed to at least put up 10.
Yeah, but he's a different type of point guard. That's
why.
That's why this.
Yeah, he would have been a great point guard when he played with Wilt. He would fit right in.
Yeah,
he's just in the wrong time period, I guess.
I just always think that he needed that. He desperately needed that two guard to play next to him, and he never had it. He never had it. JJ Redick, I'm sorry, but JJ Redick was not a ball handler.
Nope. We don't like CJ. I don't want CJ. No, I don't think anybody wants CJ.
Well, when it comes to CJ, and we'll get to Joe Ingles and Patty Mills in a sec. If Harden does come here, I would like to see Patty Mills in that package, but I don't know how that would work. Would it be Ben Simmons and Seth Curry for James Harden and Patty Mills straight up?
I think that we'd have to throw something else in for Patty Mills, probably like a Matisse or a
that's fine
first round pick or both.
But the Nets are drowning right now. They're in a worse
eighth straight losses.
Seventh in the conference.
Yeah,
they're drowning.
That. Yeah,
they don't have any leverage right now.
Nope.
James Harden isn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie Irving can play half their games.
Nope.
Kevin Durant's hurt. Like, what do they have to stand on right now? If anything, we have the higher ground.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
John, we did not forget about the hack of Ben. Obviously, stuff would have to be worked on, and I would hope that he worked on it throughout this time of being off. But we've all heard that story before, so I don't know. I mean, you remember that deal that we were trying to make last week? What did we say? We said CJ McCollum, Norman Powell, and Robert Covington for Ben Simmons. Who was it? Ben Simmons, Matisse, and Furkan.
Mm-hmm.
And the Clippers just robbed the Blazers. And Norman Powell and Rocco aren't on the Blazers anymore.
Nope.
Like that tells me that Daryl Morey is not going to get a package like that. So if you're not
he's going in for the biggest deal he can get. He's looking for the blockbuster.
Yes.
Yeah. So that he doesn't want no petty role players or anything like that.
Yep.
He wants the big fish.
Yo, Molly Mall.
Cowboys and Wizards.
Yeah, he had to switch it up.
Yeah.
That was hilarious, by the way, Molly Mall. Rip to a good season, but there's always next year.
What's up, Hunter?
Yo, Hunter.
Evan Smirk. Every time.
Yeah, but Austin, this is what I'm talking about with empty calories. These 30-point, 40-point games for guys that win 25 games a year, it's just fake news. They are used to losing.
Yeah. And they're completely fine with having a short season and going to Mexico or to Hawaii, I think. There's not much you can do with these players nowadays. It's more just money. It's not about legacy. It's not about winning. It's about just getting all those incentives.
Yeah. All right. There's one more point I want to talk about the Sixers, and then we can move on to some Super Bowl predictions and pull up the lines, maybe some player props. But what would you say? What would you say a success would be this year, and what would you say a failure would be this year?
I think not hopping over that hump of being a second-round exit, I think that's a loss if you lose in the second round or before. I think a win would honestly be making it to the Eastern Conference Finals because you can show the world you can do it without another max spot player.
Yeah.
Or even making the final, like Eastern Conference Finals or Finals. I would be happy with that, but just don't lose in the second round again, please.
All right. Well, that's the problem. If you make it to the second round of the playoffs, that means you were in the top 4 of the East, correct?
Yeah.
Do you think this team is a top 2 team in the East? I mean, I'll pull up the standings right now, but you obviously got the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the Heat right now in first. You got the Bulls in second, Bucks in third, Cavs in fourth, Sixers fifth. Now the Sixers are only 2 games back of that first seed.
Mm-hmm.
So those first 5 are all within 2 games.
Yeah.
And then after that, you got the Raptors in 6, Nets 7, Celtics 8, Charlotte 9, Atlanta 10, Wizards, Knicks, they're tied for 11th. So those top tier of teams are Heat, Bulls, Bucks, Cavs, Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to throw the Nets in there, you can.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the tiers, I would say Miami, Milwaukee, Philly are in that first tier, and then the Nets are on the outside.
Yeah.
Like that might possibly be those 4 teams in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then of course you got the Bulls, who will be coming back healthy by playoff time as well.
Yeah, the Bulls will be an interesting team to see, like fully healthy. I feel like they'll still have issues with health going down the stretch. And Hunter's right, we do own Chicago, absolutely. Embiid just dominates every time, Chicago. But I think the Heat are a very, very deep squad. They have a lot of veteran players and younger guys. But, I don't think they have that winning chemistry going on. Like, I feel if you look at their actual roster, healthy-wise, they should be in first by a long shot. I mean, DeRozan's having it.
Yeah, DeRozan's having his best year.
He's having an MVP season, but he's not going to win MVP.
And although
he dropped 45, he just dropped 45 on your head. But we still
he lost empty calories.
Absolutely.
But no, I'm just saying DeMar DeRozan. We all know what happens in the playoffs when it comes to DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
So that could also be a real thing. But DeRozan's having a great year. Great year. And Levine's a great sidekick. Lonzo Ball is going to come back healthy. Caruso's still out. He'll be back.
You still got Vucevic, who's
going to be owned by Joel
top
Embiid.
10 now.
Yeah, he is.
He used to be top 5.
But he can't guard Embiid.
No.
Nobody's going to be able to guard Embiid in that series.
Yeah. So I don't think anyone's going to be able to guard Embiid besides Giannis.
Okay, so let's say that we got the one up on the Bulls. Let's look at the Heat.
Still no one on that team can really guard Embiid, but Bam Adebayo gives them a better chance. But I mean, he's not a scorer really at all.
Yeah.
I think the only person you need to worry about in that series is going to be, of course, Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry and some of the younger shooters, but they're not doing as great this season. But they're still winning.
See, that's going to be a series where you would need Ben Simmons.
Yep.
You would absolutely need Ben Simmons in that series.
That series is going to be very similar to the Atlanta Hawks series, and I think.
See, I would, maybe, probably.
But with Jimmy Butler on the team.
Yeah.
It's going to be more of a team game for them than just Jimmy
Butler.
Butler.
And Bam is going to play that Clint Capella role, and Bam is 1,000 times better than Capella.
Yeah.
And
so that's going to be a good series.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's another series where you're going to need Ben. I mean, love him or hate him, he was still playing all-pro defense in that series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was. He was the only one that was able to slow down Trae Young in that series.
Yep.
So, I say with Ben Simmons, Sixers win that series. Without Ben Simmons, you're not winning that Heat series. Now, of course, if you have Harden, that's a game changer. I would say Harden and Embiid will beat anybody in the East if it's Harden and Embiid.
Yep. Absolutely. Wow.
All right. So let's say it's a 50-50 between the Heat right now. You got Bucks. I mean, they basically got the same team as last year. I think if we would have saw them last year, we would have put up a hell of a fight. I don't know. It's tough to say without knowing what the roster is going to look like. And I just have a weird feeling that 2 weeks from now, Ben Simmons will be back in a Sixers uniform.
We'll see.
So
yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to some Super Bowl 56 preview. But that Sixers talk was brought to you by was brought to you by the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. Many of us and our families deal with mental health and addiction issues. We are happy to support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need help, please call 856-651-8117. Transitioning into some NFL talk. Brought to you by eXp Realty. Looking to buy or sell a home? Looking for a change in career or brokerage? contact Alan Foy of eXp Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit him at alan.foy@exprealty.com. All right. So we got the big game coming up. We got Cincinnati Bengals at SoFi Stadium, the home stadium of the Los Angeles Rams. And quite frankly, I'm torn on just at fan level because I love both teams. I love the players on both the teams. There's not really a player on either team that I dislike, which is unbelievable for me to say. I love Joe Burrow. I love that offense. I love Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase. But when it comes to the Rams, I just think that defensive line is going to be it's going to be the X factor. It's going to be the determining factor of the game. The Bengals offensive line held up really well against the Chiefs defensive line, but you're going up against a different animal this week, and that's going to be the X factor in this game. What are you seeing with this game?
I think it's gonna be a hell of a game. It's really hard to see whether it's going to be one of the high-scoring games or one of the low-scoring games because both defenses have actually been performing very, very well, and so have both of the offenses. I hope we're not going to see one of the Rams-Patriots Super Bowl 53. I hope we're not going to see one of those boring defensive games.
Yeah, I don't think we will.
But I love the Bengals in this game. I really do. I think that they've been playing so inconsistent all year that they finally put it together and are ready to just the good old kill shot. Like you just got to take the Rams out of their misery. They're going over the cap by that much. They deserve to lose, I think.
So your childhood hero isn't going to get over the hump, is what you're telling me?
No. I don't think so. I don't think Matt Stafford's like that anymore.
He's not that
he's
guy.
like that anymore.
All right. So right now, Rams are -4 on the spread. I think it's a field goal game. Every single play, every single great game this year has been a field goal game.
I think
so. I think it's almost certain that you take the Bengals with the points. Right now, the total is 48.5.
I can see it going over.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be kind of like our Super Bowl.
Okay.
It might end up like that. I don't know. It's going to be a one-score game, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you go Bengals money line, you're at +170 right now. I just think this team is just destined to win. I believe in the sports gods per se. I think that it's just their season to fumble away, pending any disastrous chain of events that happen after Super Bowl. I just can't see them not winning. But then you could also say the same thing about Matt Stafford, right? I mean, Matt Stafford spent all those years in the slop of Detroit, and he finally gets a team around him, and he's almost destined to come out on top, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good story. Dude went from winning no games to winning, 13 already this season, 15?
Yeah.
Let's see if he can. I mean, that's a legacy game for him, honestly. Like, does he want to be seen as that guy who just came up short each and every season? Like, this is the best chance for Matt Stafford, and if he secures a football and they develop some sort of running game, I think the Rams will win that. But I just think that Von Bell, all these other dudes up in the trenches.
Von Miller. Von Bell. You said Von Bell. He's also going to be in the Super Bowl. He's a safety for the Bengals.
Well, yeah.
You said Von Bell, but you were talking about Von Miller, right?
No, I was talking about Von Bell. I was saying that he's
on defense.
A key for the Bengals defense.
Sorry.
But but very much. Yeah, I can go either way, honestly.
I get them like when I'm talking about Von Miller and then I see Von Bell, the names just Like they're the only two Vaughns I know besides
Mhm.
the one actor in
Yeah.
Dodgeball. Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's three Vaughns that I know, and those are the three.
I know Kayvon Wallace.
Yeah.
Kayvon Wallace. But no, like it's gonna be actually a very, very interesting game. I'm excited.
I just want to see the odds for MVP because would you put any real investment in Cooper Kupp as the MVP?
I don't know. When's the last time we saw a wide receiver win? Was it Edelman back in 52, 53, Super Bowl
Yes.
53?
Yes. So that means it would have to be low scoring, right?
Yeah.
So like if
they won't give it to a kicker, so
yeah.
don't even put it on a kicker because
Yeah.
Janikowski would have won it that year.
Yeah.
He was their only points, but that could be a possibility. I mean, Cooper Kupp has averaged usually over 100 yards a game, so I don't see why he wouldn't this game.
Everybody knows that he's getting the football every single Sunday.
Yeah.
And somehow, some way, he still is averaging 10
gets it.
catches a game,
Yep.
over 100 yards, over a touchdown a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable. And then the type of stuff he does when it comes to the run game, where he's always in the right spot, never misses a block.
Mm-hmm.
He is playing like an MVP player right now.
Yeah. You know, like the only reason why I'd say no to Cooper Kupp is because the guy throwing the ball will usually get more credit when it comes to something like that. You know what I mean? Like if you throw 4 touchdowns, I feel like sometimes they'll credit the quarterback just because it's a quarterback.
I mean, Stafford's put up these types of numbers before.
Yeah.
Like what's different?
I don't know. I just feel like they see something more in a quarterback throwing 4 than a wide receiver throwing 4 sometimes.
Yeah. I mean,
or catching 4.
See, I would go. What is it? I know parlays are horrible, and you probably will never win. But if you want to put in a little sneaky parlay, I would do Bengals points, which is at 4 right now. Mm-hmm. I would go over 48.5. I would go touchdown Cooper Kupp, touchdown Jamar Chase, touchdown Odell. Now let me just put that in real quick.
$5 would probably win you what, like to 1,000 maybe?
I would probably go a little bit more than that.
Put a 20. 20 bomb. Let's see what that does for you.
What did I say? I said
Cooper Kupp, Odell, Jamar Chase.
Yeah, and then over 48.5, and then Bengals
money line. Or Bengals, score.
All right, so that's plus 1,200 odds. So $50 wins you 600.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Now I'm not putting 60 or 50.
Yeah,
but...
no. But hey, you put down 30, you can get what, 300?
Yeah, around there.
That's not bad.
So, you got
throw in Cam Akers and throw in Tyler Boyd or something like that. I don't know.
Cam Akers, Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
You got
I'm wondering what Joe Burrow's over under is for touchdowns. It's probably what, 3 or 4?
Right now, Joe Burrow's at
3.5. I bet.
Nope. Over 1.5. The odds are minus 165. So
wow,
that's high.
Yeah.
Yeah, $50 would win you 30 for that one. So you could probably alternate that line.
Yeah.
Wow. Their over unders for both of them right now. Burrow's over 273, and Stafford's over 279.
I think both of them go over.
So you legitimately think this is going to be a shootout?
It might just be, honestly. I think the defenses are definitely going to squander up, and I think that it's going to be a high-scoring game. I hope it is.
Okay.
I really hope it is.
Okay. Now, how about the running backs? I mean, Cam Akers is at 63.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Jamar Chase is 3.5. I think I would put $1,000 on that if I had the funds.
What is it? 3.5?
3.5 for Jamar Chase.
What,
For
receptions?
rushing yards
Oh.
on DraftKings.
All he has to do is carry the ball pretty much one time.
Dude, 1,000 wins you 800.
Wow.
If I had the money, I would put $100,000 on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. I'm wondering what the what it is for Odell throwing a touchdown.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
I
I could see that happening though.
don't even know if they will have that in the book. All right, a couple of receiving yards. You got Cam Akers over 15.5. Stay away from that. I think it would be under. Cooper Kupp is over 106.
Oh.
I would take it.
I don't know.
I
I have a
would
bad
slam
feeling.
that.
I have a bad feeling it's going to be like lower 90.
Really?
Lower 90s, yeah. Because he does have other guys on that team that can catch the ball.
Odell is at 63.5.
What is what the hell
Van Jefferson?
Yeah, what is
30,
he?
30.5.
I would take that.
Really? So that really means only one reception for him because
I would take that. I think I would.
T. Higgins is 68.5.
So that's high.
I feel like he's hit or miss. I feel like honestly he'll either have 30 yards or he'll have 130 yards. There's no in between.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think the targets on Jamar Chase is back this week, so he's gonna have Jalen Ramsey on him.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is at over 78 or 78. So
I don't know. I'm not taking that one. I'm not taking that one, honestly.
Okay.
I know Jamar Chase is a very, very good wide receiver, but I don't know if he could challenge Ramsey, but damn, that's a lot of receiving yards.
Yeah.
Especially I have him if he's being guarded all game by Ramsey.
Okay. All right, receptions. Cooper Kupp's at 8.5 for receptions. I think he gets it.
Yeah. He might get 8. He might get 8. 8 flat.
I think he gets to double digits. One thing we've learned about Super Bowls and playoffs in general, you feed your stars.
Mm-hmm.
And he's proven that even though everybody's targeting him, he's still wide open every single play.
I don't feel like he gets the respect he deserves, though, Cooper Kupp, at all.
Yeah.
He's very, very underrated.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be a top 10 pick in fantasy next year.
Absolutely.
And I'll stay away from that. Draft running backs. Next year, I'm gonna say it up until August. I'm drafting 4 straight running backs. Jamar Chase is 5.5. Taking that. Take the over.
Yeah.
Odell is 5.5.
Damn, Odell and Jamar have the same.
I'm staying away.
I'm taking Odell on that with more receptions than Jamar.
Okay. I'll stay away because I just don't know.
I don't sports bet, but if I was to put money on that, I would definitely put money on.
I'll tell you one thing. I would put everything on Jamar Chase over 3.5 rushing yards. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I? Tyler Boyd 3.5. I'll take that too. Especially if he starts feeling pressure, he's going to want to check down, and he'll check down to his slot guy, which is Tyler Boyd. Both running backs are at over 16.5 for rushing attempts. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know about Cam Akers.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. Cam Akers is going to be an interesting one. I think he does still score a touchdown, but I think they're going to give Stafford the ball a lot to throw. Unless they come out, unless they're winning big in the first two quarters. I don't see Akers getting that many yards, but I definitely see maybe an anytime touchdown.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was so much pain last week, dude, when Kansas City blew that freaking lead. I'm still having nightmares about it.
Yeah. Seeing demons.
All I see is the bet slip.
Replay. It's replaying in your head.
$35 to win 1,085. Oh, you're up 21-3. Going into halftime.
Oh my god.
Oh wait, no, they're gonna score. Now you're up 21-10. Oh, but you're about to score again. But then you get cute. It's just unbelievable to think about.
Yeah, that was a bad loss by the Chiefs. Very bad.
That's a huge loss. All right. What do you have your final score prediction to be, and who's your player of the game? Who's your MVP?
I gotta go Joe Shiesty, man. Joe Shiesty. I think he will be the MVP, and I think they do. The Bengals win. I say 34-28.
Okay. All right.
Joe Shiesty, baby.
Damn, dude. I want to be different. I want to be different, but I feel the same exact way. I just feel like everything is falling in the right direction for them. I'm getting the 2017 Eagle vibes, like Hunter said earlier.
Mm-hmm. With the worst offensive line, though, going against the best defensive line.
And that's unbelievable because we were all screaming from the rooftop. You got to pass on Jamar Chase. You have to do it.
We were wrong about that one.
We were wrong.
But they did make moves. That was before they actually made moves to acquire offensive linemen. So we just didn't want to see Joe Burrow getting killed another year.
And it's unbelievable to think about that. People forget he's fresh off a torn ACL.
Yeah.
And he came back relatively early.
That's Tom Brady vibes, but better.
It's 2019 Carson Wentz vibes.
No. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't pray on his downfall like that.
Yeah. But all right, I will go. What will I go? I'll go 30. I think Shooter McPherson kicks 3 field goals, and I think they have 3 touchdowns. So I'm going to say 30-27.
Okay.
30-27.
That's fair.
McPherson kicks the last second field goal to win the game.
Wow.
And I think that Joe Burrow is going to get the MVP. But to be different, I will say that I'll say T. Higgins explodes and has 3 touchdowns.
I feel like either T. Higgins or Boyd are going to have more receptions and yards than
Chase.
Jamar Chase, definitely.
Well, I think Chase gets in the end zone once, but I think the other 2 touchdowns will be by some other guy, whether it's Boyd or whether it's Higgins.
Yeah,
and I think I think their tight end Usama is out because he got messed up. That was a hell of a horrible looking play that happened to him.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think that's.
They need Trey Burton.
Yeah, Jimmy J. That is going to be interesting. How
many sacks is it for the record? 2? 3?
I think Von Miller has it, honestly.
Against Cam?
Yeah.
That was when they won 40-6?
Yeah, that was horrible. 4 players are tied for the most sacks in a Super Bowl with 3 sacks.
3.
Grady Jarrett in the 28-3 blown lead. Coney Ely in 2016. And Darnell Dockett in 2009. I think all of those were losses.
A lot of no names.
Grady Jarrett's a good guy, a good one. He just is stuck on a horrible Atlanta team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I let me say T. Higgins will get 2 touchdowns. He'll have 9 catches for 163 yards.
That's a monster game.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald. Tom thinks Aaron Donald's Super Bowl MVP. You know, defensive players don't win Super
Unless
Bowl
it's a
MVPs
low-scoring
very
game.
much. Yeah. And I don't see a low-scoring game.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
So, I mean, if it's anything like the Rams game, Rams Super Bowl, maybe.
Yeah.
But unless you have to have like at least you probably have to have the sack record or tie it to win Super Bowl MVP. I think.
Yeah.
If your team doesn't score any more than 14 points, then absolutely. But after that, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Mixon does deserve this Super Bowl. I really like Mixon.
Yeah, Matt. That's what we were kind of discussing. It's going to be tough for Kupp or OBJ to get the MVP, just for the sole fact that we think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and Stafford's probably going to most likely put up 3 touchdowns over 300 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way they won't give a quarterback that if that's their stat line. Like Super Bowl MVP is a quarterback award, just like how league MVP is a quarterback award.
Yep.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I think Kupp has more of a chance than OBJ, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see. All right, let's get to a little bit of weekend winners. Weekend winners always brought to you by Gleason's Bar, which is located at 6700 Mill Creek Ave in Levittown, PA. Use promo code HUD for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or get the food online. Gleason'sBarandSteak.com in Levittown, PA. Also, all campus down in Ocean City, New Jersey, near 9th Street, near the Castaway Cove and whatnot. All those fun little stores there.
Used to be. What used to be there.
Yeah. I mean, they're building it
That's
back.
sad.
Yeah.
Their childhood.
Give it up 20% off everything in the store, including hats, shirts, and the team cornhole sets to all of the subscribers. Make sure you check them out. Also, make sure you check them out every Sunday with the pregame shows, the football. They do a great job, Rob and Chris. So make sure you check them out. And also Rob's on the Sports Hounds before us as well. So, all right. I know I have a loser, and that loser's Alvin Kamara.
Oh yeah.
What are you thinking, dude? Why? I didn't even read. Like, I didn't read into it, but why? I know something may have happened, and somebody probably said something to you, and the whole 9. But you got to realize, dude, that you're a public figure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything you do is going to be ridiculed, whether it's for the good or the bad.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is what a lot of these athletes don't understand is, we understand that you guys are humans, but not everybody realizes that. Now, you got to understand that sometimes people just see you as guys that are just making millions of dollars to play ball, which is the dream. So people don't have that respect for you. Mm-hmm. And I understand it's easier said than done to just blank it out. And I feel like most of the athletes do. But then when you snap and do something like that, it's just a bad look.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You got to be able to put yourself in situations where you're not going to have anything bad happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that's an interesting one. And the not really funny part, but I thought it was a little bit interesting was that he did that the night before, and then he went out and played a football game.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And Cam Jordan was saying, "Oh, I love all my Saints players. We're all good players." He definitely knew something was up. He was saying, "Oh, did you see that?"
Yeah, I don't know. The teammates are always going to have each other's backs.
That one was bad.
Yeah, it's horrible.
But
so,
there wasn't many winners this week. I'd say I didn't watch a lick of the Pro Bowl, and the Pro Bowl, there's no winners in there. They all lost. They're all a bunch of losers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I'd say maybe
well,
like
it
Patrick
just
Mahomes doing very good in the dodgeball tournament. I have no winners really because Sixers aren't winners.
mhm.
We don't know if Kamara hit a one. There
It's
hasn't
well
been any.
here's what Mike Triplett from
Right.
ESPN says. Video surveillance shows New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara punching a man approximately 8 times before Kamara's associates proceeded to stomp on him several more times on the ground in a Las Vegas casino Saturday morning.
Oh,
So it wasn't a female, but still that's horrible.
yeah.
The man who was knocked unconscious sustained an orbital fracture to his right eye, among other injuries. Police said the video surveillance matched the man's account. The man said he started a conversation with one member of the group of people while waiting for an elevator as he was leaving the Cromwell Casino at Dreas After Dark Club on South Las Vegas Boulevard at about 6:30 a.m. When the elevator doors opened, the man started to walk toward the elevator along with a large party. But a man later identified as Kamara put his hand on the victim's chest to stop him. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. Wow. Players just can't handle themselves in Vegas, like it's just been a crazy year. I think a lot of people are trying to make this pandemic an excuse to be a crazy fuck. But like that just goes to show like you not many players are just built for Vegas, And that's disgusting. The fact that you stomped on somebody and like he might go to jail for that. I don't know what the context of that was, but it's not looking too good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, like, why the fuck is he even there? He didn't even deserve to be in a no Pro Bowl this season, did he?
I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, dude. Like, there's nothing else to really say. Like, I would say maybe 90% of these guys are great guys. They
Yeah, a lot of them are role
they have
models. But there's that certain few that are just.
And he had a good fight. Like, I know he was a very charitable guy down in New Orleans, but this type of stuff is just horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Jimmy J, that's what they were saying. His entourage and his crew continued to beat up on the guy after Kamara already just annihilated him 8 different times to the face.
Yeah, that's not good.
Did you see Mac Jones?
Yeah, it's a little gritty. Yeah.
And the play didn't even count because the Pro Bowl was literally a 2-hand touch game.
That was pretty funny, actually.
I also have to say something about Max Crosby because Max Crosby got Defensive Player of the Game in the Pro Bowl. He was going 150%, while the offensive line was going maybe 40.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Mac Jones was in the Pro Bowl until I saw that video.
Yeah, that's horrible. I mean,
how the fuck did Mac Jones make it?
It was probably a replacement because Josh Allen wasn't there.
Yeah.
But Derek Carr wasn't there. There's a plethora, and he will never make the AFC Pro Bowl ever again.
No.
With how many quarterbacks?
No, absolutely not. Wow.
He obviously said something that caused. Yeah, I mean that's how I prefaced all of this. Like there's no reason why somebody would just do that to another human being. So obviously something was said, something was started, but to go after that and the guy has a freaking fractured orbital bone and his entourage continued to beat up on him, that's horrible. So we'll see what I know. I don't think the Saints have said anything, but it is what it is. There wasn't really
I mean, as an NFL player, I don't care who you are. You're supposed to be a role model.
You're a public figure.
The reason why that random guy got beaten up, is like he's obviously nobody. So
like just look at it this way. My little fun night that I had with the Flyers. Imagine I would have said something to one of the Flyers, and they just start pounding on me. That's how I'm seeing what happened in this situation. Is the guy, and I'm just making assumptions. There's nothing I don't know, but that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Freaking Travis Konecny just starts beating the piss out of
him. Yeah. Whatever. It's all about just players can't handle themselves. They have a little bit too much fun with their friends, and they just decide to almost kill somebody.
Did Hugh Jackson actually get paid to lose games in Cleveland? Because that's horrible.
I don't know.
But that won't have anything to do with the Flores lawsuit. The Flores lawsuit is just odd. I haven't really read into it, but another. I mean, a huge winner down in Houston, Lovie Smith, getting hired out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
The Eagles are a loser for Gannon not getting a job.
Eagles fans everywhere losers because Jonathan Gannon's going to be running the defense next year.
Oh my god, Eagles fans everywhere. This is for you. That's how they really just said.
I mean, Doug Peterson gets hired. Is he?
That's a dub. Now that's a dub for the Jags.
Is it?
I think so.
Is it?
I think so. I think it's a good look for them now. Now that you cut that batshit crazy Urban Meyer.
Yeah, that
really didn't do shit for him.
We'll talk about a loser.
He is a loser.
Yeah.
Imagine kicking your kicker and just thinking it's okay to kick a grown man.
Yeah.
He won't kick like a lineman though. He won't kick a 300-pound lineman.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Lord Walker. Athlete. See, I wouldn't consider they don't have to be role models. They don't have to do anything.
They don't have to be role models. They have to act.
They are public figures.
Yeah.
They're public figures. So whether they want it or not, that's what they signed up for when they got those $1 million contracts. Is everything that you do is going to be put underneath a microscope.
Yep.
That's what we're trying to say. We're not trying to say that they have to be role models or they're required to do all types of charity events. They don't have to do anything. But when you sign up for this life, when you're getting paid millions upon millions of dollars to play ball, which I'm not going to ridicule you at all. I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And I didn't practice hard enough. But you're a public figure, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, just like all of these other guys that just take initiative to fuck up and lose out on their whole careers. I mean, in different instances, some of what's happening, some of these places, like jobs wouldn't really find out necessarily everything that happens to a player, but you're right, absolutely. Like as an athlete, everything you say, everything you do is put under a microscope 24/7. There's always going to be an issue. So you definitely have to take a little bit more responsibility when you're a professional athlete.
And it happens with national newscasters, whether they're on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, like ABC. It happens with all of them.
Yep.
That's why they get canceled in cancel culture all the time because of stuff like that. Like you signed up for that life to be a millionaire. Yeah. That means you had to be extra precautious in everything you do. And that's kind of really in any job, to be honest. Like there's different sets of rules where they're unwritten rules in that profession where you need to watch yourself and be careful.
Absolutely.
And, it's just there's no excuse really.
You want their life harm students. To me is unfair.
You want their life, but to hold them to standards you don't have to meet. Well, Lord, I'm telling you right now, if somebody was giving me $10 million a year to play basketball, I would hold myself accountable in anything I do because A, I'm going to be a millionaire. B, I'm doing something for the rest of my life that I love. And C, I'm only going to have to do it for 10 years. And then I could retire into the sunset. But maybe it's easier said than done, but that sounds like the life to me, dude.
Yeah.
You have your family, you have your friends, you have your teammates.
Just don't act like a fucking nut. That's basically all it is.
Like, I understand we could assume the worst, whatever that guy did to Kamara. But after Kamara beats his face in, I don't think you need your entourage coming in and pounding on him.
Yeah.
After you already did the damage. That's the only thing I have to say. Like I wasn't there. I didn't see the video. I would have to look up. Maybe I have to be more aware of what happened. But I'm just telling you right now, I love Kamara. I love Kamara. I wanted the Eagles to draft Alvin Kamara.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted us to draft Travis Etienne, like somebody said up there, because I feel like they're going to be similar players. And then, of course, Etienne got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's the type of running back that any NFL team would want right now. And I loved what he did down in New Orleans. He was always he was a good role model down there with all his charities and stuff. But I'm just saying, weekend loser. If you don't want to call him a loser, yeah, we could just not talk about it at all. That's a stay away, you know.
I think it's safe to say that he is a big loser this weekend. He just couldn't handle Vegas. That's all it was. So some players learn the hard way, and he's going to learn the hard way, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and it happens all the time. It happens on all levels, by the way, mind you. It happens in high school sports. It happens in college sports, where these guys think they could get away with murder, and the second they get caught, they're done. It happens in all levels.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could, like, just imagine this. You want to be the president of the United States. They have much higher standards than you.
Yeah,
like a regular person. That's just like kind of like the same deal.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you look at the last two presidents, I wonder if that's a true statement. But
maybe
that's neither here nor there.
Anybody's game.
Yeah.
Honestly, a weekend, not even weekend, I'd say week loser is the president of Barstool Sports for crying like an absolute baby about that whole Tom Brady announcement retire. Get over it. I mean, Tom is completely right. I did watch some of the Man of the Arena, but just like the fact that Patriots fans got that tight, the dude was on your team for 20 years, 2 decades.
Won you 6 championship rings.
That's, I mean, that for the amount of times he said thank you to the Patriots organization all throughout that, he doesn't need to thank them any more than he already has. You should be thanking him still.
Yeah. I mean, you know how I feel about Tom Brady. I was driving behind a guy that had a Patriots logo bumper sticker on one side and Tom Brady's logo for the TB12 logo on the other side.
Yeah.
And I wanted to drive him off the road because that's how angry it made me, because that's how much I hate Tom. Like I could go the rest of my life in peace. It's like after Thanos snapped his fingers. Tom Brady's over with. He's done with now. We don't got to talk about him anymore.
Yeah.
Just people have this weird obsession.
Yeah.
Lord Walker, I'm not justifying the beatdown by the entourage, but the problem with most fans is they want to live their life, but they don't live their life in any way. Yeah, and Lord, that's what I'm saying. I would never be able to understand or comprehend that type of fame on me. I would never be able to do it. The closest I came to becoming famous was 2 weeks ago when I hit on that divisional round parlay on TikTok.
Yeah,
that is the closest I've ever come to fame, and that was 4,000 likes.
Yeah, that's a lot of likes.
So I can't even begin to imagine that type of stuff. But I'm just telling you right now, I feel like I would not put myself and I'm just saying this. It would be safe to say that I would never put myself in that situation.
Yeah.
I mean, for the love of God, I saw an entire hockey team at one of my local bars, and none of them got into that issue. Like, these guys go out on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like it's just being
responsible.
Yeah, it's being responsible and like being around the right people. And it's a lot of like struggles that a lot of people been making throughout their lives and their careers. Like, look at Allen Iverson. He was around the wrong people. He ended up being broke by the end of his career. And where are those people now? Do you think they're still in his life?
No.
No, absolutely not. And it's just being around the right people. I mean, maybe Alvin Kamara just wanted to be him and that dude, but then the entourage just jumps in, and it makes Alvin look even worse.
Because that's the type of people you're hanging out with.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, everything about Vegas was horrible except for Mac Jones's attempt at the gritty.
Yeah,
that was the only redeeming quality of that Pro Bowl.
Absolutely. Yep.
And one last thing, just my one last winner. Your thoughts on Levert to the Cavs, and this ties back into Morey. This shows me that Morey does not want any of the league's slop. He wants a top 10, top 5 guy in return. So my winner goes to Daryl Morey for continuing to hold this out. And he will continue to do this, and he will continue to show Ben Simmons that he is just as stubborn as he is.
Yeah.
So my winner is Daryl Morey for not ruining this franchise.
Mm-hmm. Don says the losers, the whole Pro Bowl event. I think they're a big loser for not having any Lions players in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was there no Lions?
No.
I'll tell you one thing. St. Brown? No. What's his name? Aram
St. Brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
He should have been in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. He had a good end of the season.
Dude single-handedly took me out in one of my leagues. The semifinal.
I had him the last few months, or like a month before. Yeah. He went off. Amon St. Brown. Yeah. Good player.
No.
But I mean, is he that good player amongst bad? Like, is he the Michael Carter effect? Like,
he's good. I think it's different with wide receivers because he was doing that with Jared Goff as his quarterback.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true, actually.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Wing, nice of you to show up. We always appreciate you. Jimmy J, Lord Walker, always fun talking sports. Matt, as always. Guys, you see the little emblems that Don and Lord Walker have. That just means they're members, and we give out a lot of stuff to our members. We take care of our members. You get jerseys once a week, twice a week.
Yeah. Yep.
You get appearances on shows, members only streams, shout outs, weekly sports picks from Nate Moss of the Money Pot Podcast and Brian Wilson, aka Willie Vegas, on the flagship Agree to Disagree. It's only $9.99 a month, so become a member today. Become a member as I read through these reads. Greatly appreciated. All right. What's up, Pove?
What's up, Rob?
Appreciate you, Lord. I mean that's the bottom line. And if that means that Ben has to come back and play the rest of the season, I'm all in. All in. Yep. We feel you, Mr. Wing. We feel you. It's horrible.
Yeah.
College is a scam. You're gonna have to do it, but college is a scam. Let me just tell you.
I'm getting scammed 7 times this semester.
It's horrible. And I know I'm gonna be a teacher pretty soon too. And I don't know when it comes to grading papers, I feel like it's gonna be fine. But the easiest way to stop that is not give out too much work, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good thing about online school is that usually computers can do it for you. So go you, Jimmy. Don't assign too much work. Don't be one of those teachers.
I won't.
Jimmy's gonna be one of those teachers. He's gonna
literally not.
There's gonna be some kid that's gonna say, "Oh wait, what about homework this weekend?" And then you'll be like, "Oh, okay." Then dude, you're gonna be grading papers during the Eagles game. That's the last thing you want to do, right?
That is not gonna happen.
You have to grade before the Eagles game because if they lose, you're giving out some bad grades.
Evan, I don't I don't sleep. I get maybe 6 hours a day. I'm always doing something. I feel like life's too short to sleep.
Yeah, you only really live for 50 years if you think about it. So
yeah, if
you're only really in consciousness for 50 years.
Exactly.
So
life's too short to sleep.
Exactly.
Mr. Wing, tough.
Watch Ben Simmons.
Oh, man,
I think you'd be in college.
I would definitely watch Ben Simmons watch 50 because I would try to encourage him. I wouldn't be that guy that boos him. I can't stand it.
You'd be that one Sixers fan. Remember, he was like, "Come on, like, yeah, you got it's just like that." You remember the guy that was? It was the Atlanta Hawks series, and he's trying to like hype Ben up to make it. Like, there's oh my god, there's so
Yeah.
many of them.
All right. And that is totally true, Mr. Wing. 100%.
Oh my gosh.
All right, guys. Flight Zone always brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Hell of a show. Check out the rest of the shows this week. You got Pove, Brian Daly, and Maddie. The Hockey Happy Hour tomorrow. A2D Wednesday night, obviously. They're obviously going to be talking heavy Sixers trade deadline. See if we make a move. Thursday night, you got Birds of a Feather. You got Friday Fan Friday. You got all these shows coming up. So make sure you check us out. We have a show every single day. Mm-hmm. Fun time in sports. Hopefully baseball gets started and we can start talking some Phils as well. So, all right, guys. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great week. I hope everybody enjoys it. Have a good one.
Peace.